What's up, you guys? I'm Amber,
And I'm Patty.
and welcome back to another episode of Chromosomes and Chaos.
Just can we start that over? My mind just
Well, what's up, you guys? I'm Amber,
And I'm Patty.
and welcome back to another episode of Chromosomes and Chaos.
Two moms, two perspectives, and one badass podcast.
I listened to parts of Bonnie's episode last week, and it was awesome. It was so awesome. So if you guys haven't listened to that, go back and listen to our most recent one. But
If you
she's
need
so funny. I
a
just love
daily
that woman.
dose of what it feels like to find your voice, because there were some parts of that episode where it was like, ooh, yes, I'm going to channel my inner body when I need it. It's okay. Lisa actually is like, I feel like that's going to be you when Eddie's older. And then, well, maybe
It is.
if it needs to
Probably
be.
is. Bringing those principles, coffees.
Yeah. I'll bring anybody coffee.
She's so
Hang out. It'll be good.
Yeah.
I think one of the other things she talked about was an incident that she had with Aiden a couple
Mm-hmm.
years ago, where Aiden just decided to get up in the morning and walk
Go for
out
a
the
walk.
house, and he was determined on where he was going to go. But the amount of fear that it instilled brought up a topic that we wanted to talk about. That's probably maybe a little bit heavier, but it's just the reality of so many parents that have individuals with Down syndrome, and that's the concept of safety and
Eloping and
well-being.
yeah, just GTFO, I'm getting out of here and I'm
Yes.
not looking back.
One of my neighbors, good friend of mine, love her dearly, mentioned one time, and I think I've said it before, about how I'm like the epitome of a helicopter parent. And at first I was a little offended, and then I was like, wait a second, most of it's circumstantial, right?
Mhm.
It's just because of the circumstances that we're in. And the first time I had to drop Addie off somewhere, it was for cheer camp. They had been doing cheer camp, and they were getting ready to cheer at the middle of the basketball game. And I walked her in there, and the staff were like, okay, no parents beyond this point. And I was like, wait, excuse me? What are you talking about? No parents.
But I gotta be here.
I'm like, but I'm going with my daughter, right? They're like, no, you can go ahead and go into the gym and get ready for, and I'm like, and literally, and I'm like, okay. And she ran back there already and was already in the room. And as I'm walking her through the cafeteria into the gym, I'm like, exit, exit. She can get out there. They're going somewhere else, like that. My mind automatically goes to how many exit points are there, where she could get out, where do I not have eyes, and that safety. We're sitting in the basketball court, and out comes all the kindergartners. And Addie was in kindergarten, and I don't see Addie. Then out come all of the first graders, and I don't see Addie. Out come all of the second graders, and I don't see Addie. And at this point, I'm like hitting Lisa's leg, and I'm like, where's Addie?
Right. Because you
Don't
already
see
felt
her.
bad about this whole thing.
Yeah.
And then
where is she? Out come all the third graders, and I don't see. And I'm literally getting ready to jump out of the bleachers. And then I finally see Addie strolling in with one of the high school, like, people that were volunteering. And then they walk right up, and I'm like,
Okay, we're okay.
okay, we're okay. We're okay, guys. Also,
Yep.
it's okay.
Yep.
But my brain just works differently.
And it's things typical parents don't have to think of because their kindergartners are all coming out to kindergarten class. You know, the first graders are all coming out to first grader class. But it's unless you have a child that you know could elope and I don't think it's being a helicopter parent. I just think we're more aware of things that could happen. Right. But I think with you too, it stems, and we've talked about this before, of just your like seasons of life that you have, like with child loss and things like that, and that being a part of this whole helicopter parenting
Our
thing.
first parenting experience was Addie with a diagnosis. Our second parenting experience was Hudson, who died. And then third was Cooper, but that just came with a lot of anxiety. And so it's like, I'm just acutely aware of those things. But I also don't think I parent necessarily the boys the same way I would, right? In the sense of, and I think all of them, it's not helicopter in the sense of I let them all try things. I let them all fail. I'm like, I don't intervene. You know, they climb to the top of the things. I'm like, how am I going to get down? I'm like, figure it out. Right. And that has served us so well with Addie in her gross motor skills and doing the things she does. But if helicopter, I want to know where my kids are at all times.
Absolutely.
That is there's a fine line. So I'm always 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Do I have eyes on all three of my kids? And hopefully that'll change as they get a little bit older and have more boundaries and security. But I think you even had some moments.
Yeah. Well, even Ivy to this day will be in a park or something, and I'll ask, where's Pierce? Do you see Pierce? Because sometimes he gets lost in the, you know, everything that's going on. And she had said, well, why do you always ask where Pierce is? And I'm like, honey, because You come up to me every 5 minutes, tell me you're bored. You want to leave. Like, I know where you are. But your brother, he's up there somewhere. And I just want to make sure he doesn't elope because, yes, we've had it happen before. Actually, like a series of 3 times. And this is something you do hear about. And I remember hearing about this when Pierce was born and reading about is just this eloping because their mindset is just not the same. They don't think of the aftermath of if I do X, this is Y and Z is going to happen or whatever, right? So they're just like, oh, I just feel like I'm doing something. I'm going to go do it and I'm going to go figure it out or whatever. Like they don't think about the aftermath of what could happen. And so the first time was when we were all at home and he was probably 3 and we couldn't find him. We didn't hear the front door open by this, like and we'll get into the resources and tools to help with this, but we don't have an alarm system. We didn't. And this conversation might make me want to install some, but thankfully we haven't had these issues recently. But we were all looking for him in the house and we have a fenced in backyard and he wasn't back there. And we're like, what the heck? And for some reason, Tyler opened the front door, went to look in the front, but then he saw him walking down the street. And I was like, holy crap. Like you're obviously thinking about all the bad things that could happen. And he's just like walking with his iPad, I think. And I'm like, dude, like you should. And then of course he's like, why did he do that? I'm like, I don't know. Like he wanted to get out of here. Maybe there was some sensory overload. He felt something. He thought of something, wanted to walk to the park, whatever. Yeah. Like you just don't know. Right. So that was the first time. And then we actually did look into the ID waiver and stuff to get that passed. But then there was a step that we didn't take maybe or something.
You had to get like multiple
bids. Yeah, I wish they would make it a little bit easier, but there's some complexity to it, which doesn't mean that we shouldn't have moved forward with it. I think it was like, oh, this is a one mishap. And if it would have happened more, obviously we would have continued to like move forward with it. Yes. Second time we were out at like the Clive sports complex where they do baseball. And my mom had come to one of the games and there's back by a creek. There's like a creek with a bridge and my mom took him back there and I was like, oh my gosh, Pierce loves it because Pierce is infatuated with water. Water is his thing. And so we went down on a Friday night. It was like Clive Fest or something. And I'm telling you, like, I always keep an eye on Pierce. Like I try my best to be like, but when kids are up to you, they're like, hey, I need a drink. I need a snack. I need something. I'm getting that out of the bag. Like in a split second, gone. And so then was getting them a snack, had to take Ivy to the restroom or something real quick. And when I saw Pierce, he was up at the top of like the plaything. So I'm like, oh, he's going to be good. Like looks content. Come back out. No shit. He was gone. And I'm like, what in And so we were looking, and then these boys start walking back and they're like, he was going to go back by that creek. So he was between the baseball fence, which is like on the side of this building. So if I would have been able to see him, I probably could have saw him, but these 2 older boys are walking him back. And I'm like, thank God. But it literally happened so fast. Yeah, and then you think I'm a terrible parent. I can't keep an eye on my kid. I can't do all these things. I'm like, give myself grace. Like, thank God he's safe. But so many bad things could happen if he went back to that creek and fell in. Oh, yeah. But just no awareness. He remembered, oh, Nana brought me here. I went back by the creek. I'm going. Right. And he's like, I'm
the familiarity that he has with that or the association. It's like, I know where I am. I know what's over there. I want to go play.
Yeah.
But I think even more recent,
the car.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
he's done.
Because he's probably like, my mom's going to keep talking. The only way to get her out of here is just to go to the car.
Right. So we just go.
So one of the warmest days here recently, we were at this Smash Park event and I was like, okay, let's go. We're getting ready to leave. And I probably say that to him 10 times. So he's probably like, okay, she's going to say it again. I'm just going to go. And that's the one way to but it worked because then we all got in the car. So I'm like, this is not good.
He knows what he's doing.
So we were looking for him. I called the police because I'm like, it's been about 5 minutes. So I thought he was walking out to our friends where they were all sitting outside. And he did, but he kept going. So nobody must have noticed him right there because Ivy was right there too. I'm like, oh, he's just going to go sit with them. But he kept walking. And thankfully the car was parked by Smash Park. Like he didn't have to cross a busy street or a sidewalk because he would have literally been like, there's mom's car. I'm going.
Done.
But it was on the side. We were parked in a handicap. So it was pretty much front row. And for some reason, my car door was unlocked.
Oh my God.
And he opens it and shuts the door and was sitting there. And he's probably in there for 5-10 minutes and it was warm. And I have the child safety locks on, so he can't open the door to get out. So then he looked distraught when we went there because I think he was kind of scared and probably hot and like, okay, where is everybody? And so in that moment, I tried not to like freak out or yell, or I don't think that gets the point across. No. I just say, hey, Pierce, like, we were really worried about you. This is what we need to do in the future, whatever. Just try to have those conversations. And then we got in the car, got halfway home, and he just starts breaking down. But I think he was scared.
Yeah.
Right. And so that
Mhm.
happened. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, so now we just need to be more aware in those situations when we're at a busy place. And he did it again. He went out to the car again, and we were just somewhere, and he went out to my Gigi's.
Yeah.
Gigi's. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were at Gigi's for the Down syndrome day.
Mhm.
And I was like, okay, we're getting ready to go. And then he just beelines it. So now it's like, okay, that's the second time it's happened. So now anytime we're getting ready to leave, one of us needs to just hold Pierce's hand and know like he's probably going to go out to the car. Because again, at Gigi's, there's that busy ass street in front.
Mhm.
And if we would have parked there or didn't park where we did, who knows what could have happened to him.
Well, and I think these like situations happen more often than we think, especially with some of our friends and kiddos who elope more often than maybe Addie and Pierce do. We have a
Mhm.
friend that does. Another incident, somebody who we had on here, Dr. Lisa, she had told me about Aileen. Like there was something happened at school and a teacher had told her to get in a different line and it wasn't the right one. And it was just very overwhelming and overstimulating. She walked right up to her locker, grabbed her backpack and started to walk out the door.
Yeah.
And because she was dysregulated.
Absolutely.
Right? Like this is
Absolutely.
not the routine that I'm used to.
Mhm.
Somebody told me something different. She got frustrated and decided I'm done. I'm going home.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until another kid saw her walking outside of the building. And so that happened that we were at the Women's Barbell Classic a couple years ago. And in a split second, I was carrying Trice, had Cooper's hand, and Addie was directly behind me because this was 2 years ago. And I turn around and I see her pink. I turn around and I see her pink clothes and I turn around and the pink is gone.
Gone.
And I'm like, wait a second. And my initial instinct was just like, it was at the Recplex,
Mhm.
the
Oh, yeah.
hugest
Huge.
place, a
Huge.
million places that Addie could hide, wander, explore,
Oh,
all
yeah.
of those things. And I found the meet director and I said, hey, do you have a microphone? I need you to find. They stopped the meet, announced it over, and she had gone all the way up to the top of the bleachers and was just hanging out. And somebody's like, she's up here. And I'm like, my heart just goes a million miles.
It
And
does.
recently we've had some things on the local news that could just scare the crap out of you of kiddos with disabilities leaving in the middle of the night, or,
Mhm.
you get those amber or alerts from, a kid with Down syndrome, somebody with autism and things like that.
Absolutely.
And so I think we just wanted to talk about some of those things. And I think there's resources that can be available, and just the awareness of it, because it's a reality for so many parents and you're not alone in that reality. And I think if being a helicopter parent keeps budgets safe, then I'm
Yeah.
okay with it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But it's a weird feeling because I feel like I'm a helicopter parent to Pierce, which I need to be
Yep.
because he's going to make bad decisions if I'm not.
Yeah.
If I give him the freedom to do whatever he wants,
Yeah.
that's not going to work. Right. And I don't think it's really helicopter parenting. It's just a different style of parenting because we have to do it that way.
We have
because-
different parenting realities.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
So
Yeah. Yeah, and I also think if you listen to this podcast and maybe you don't have a child with a disability or anything, but you're out in the community and you see a child that's wandering, like stop that child. Like you have got to just stop, call the police, because I think in some of those situations, everybody's like, what do I do?
Yeah.
Do I, and so it's like, stop the child. They don't know, they're going to keep going. Like kind of like the Aiden situation. If you see someone like that, just stop them, call the police, and then look at
I think we just have a constant awareness. I remember when Addie was little and we used to get there were these things that we put on our sliding glass door and they were little squares and you can pop them shut and it would open. But if you pop it open, then the door would stuck and she couldn't get out, right?
Yeah.
I was just going to say the little shit.
Well, I mean,
the beautiful angel that she is. It's fine, both equally. Learned how to get the chair, push it open, and climb up to pop it so she could get out, right? She is very determined in things that she wants to do. I mentioned on last week's episode, Cooper came downstairs and was like, Mom, Addie's on the roof. No, she's not. She's in her room. Yeah. She went through her window and got on the roof. And I'm like, so now we need window alarms or things like that.
Yeah.
When we moved into our house, one of the first things that we had talked with our case manager about, and this was just a couple years ago, was getting the rest of the privacy fence done. And we were able to get a couple different bids and get some reimbursement for that.
That's awesome.
For it. And so I know for whatever state you're in, if you're local, if your kiddo is on the HD waiver, the ID waiver, there are some funding that's put aside for home modifications.
Mhm.
And I know some of our friends have like the GeoBid or air
Right,
tags
which I want to look into now.
that can, and I think their waiver actually pays, or the insurance pays for the subscription, the monthly subscription for that. We have another little friend that has some type of a belt, and that belt is like a very alarming, because if he is not in your hand, he's off and
Yeah.
running somewhere.
And I think with summer coming too, we're outside more, there's more freedom they want to be outside, right? Because when it's cold out, Pierce, that's the last place he wants to be.
Yeah.
But when it's nice and he can go explore, now he's like, oh, sign me up. I'll be out here all day.
Addie will go on her bike, and she sees a squirrel, and she came walking out of somebody's backyard one time, and we try to reinforce boundaries, like, you can go to this block, you can go to this block, but that's it. And sometimes it works, and sometimes it's like, nope, I'm going around the whole block. And I'm like, there's just that level of awareness and just hyper awareness of it. We've done a pretty good job of introducing Addie to most of our neighbors and things like that. So most of the people on our block know who she is. And if she is by herself, like, just that awareness capacity of it. But it's also taught me with the other kiddos, like, if we are going someplace that has a lot of people, we go over rules in the car before we get out. What's the first rule? And the number one rule in our house is, if I can't see you, you can't see me, and we don't run away.
Yep.
Like, and so they repeat it all the time. And to the point, Addie repeats it now too.
Good.
So she knows that if she can't see mom, mom can't see her.
And I feel like Pierce would, like, and he's getting better, but there would be moments we'd be out, and if we made eye contact, he would like go somewhere else, so like he couldn't see me. And I'm like, dude, this is not a game I want to play. Like, we are not playing this game.
Yeah.
So I don't even know if he would correlate that, but it would be a good start, right? Because if you keep saying those things over and over, it embeds it into their brain to be like, this is not
her
okay.
goal setting that we're doing right now. And my sister works at a grocery store, and so we've been practicing there, which is recognizing safe adults, like when you're in public, like at stores. And so if you see somebody with a name tag on, or at a store, or just like places and things like that, when you're at the library, the people behind the desk,
just say, how do you do this? You go up to this, is this person safe? And she's like, no.
No,
Not that one. This one. Yeah.
There's so many nuances, because I think to Addie, sometimes everybody is safe.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Well, shit, even to me, I'm guilty of thinking everybody, I see the good in everybody. Shit. I'm 38. Maybe you can teach me. Can you take me to the store next time?
Do you need me to teach you stranger danger, please?
Sign me up.
Oh, it's been an interesting ride, and half the time I feel like we're figuring it out as we go. But for those that are navigating that, you are not alone.
And I feel like sometimes we're embarrassed to share stories, because it makes me feel like I'm a bad mom. I can't take care of my kids. I can't. But it happens. It happens with a lot of families. And at the end of the day, when our kids are safe, we're like, thank you, Lord, because that could have been really bad. But
there's a lot of what if thoughts. There's a lot of the mental load that comes with that. And there's a huge jump from that 2 kids to 3 kids.
Oh
you're
my
out
gosh,
there.
it's just distraction. But again, it happens so damn fast.
Yes.
Like that kid, when I wanted to go somewhere, it can take his time. And he's like, I'm like, come on, Pierce, we gotta go. We gotta go.
Yeah.
But then when he's on a mission to get to the car, he is gone fast. So I want to look into like a watch or something like that. We do have air tags, so I need to get those out. I need to just put them on his shoe or something. But I don't know if that is just with Bluetooth. And so if he goes far,
you have air tags, but you have an Android. Do air tags work with Android?
Yeah, we bought the Google version of them.
Okay,
so it's like a different type of air tag.
Android for life.
Yeah, I know for sure. Android for life. Let's go.
Yeah. So yeah, you're not overdoing it. You're not alone. There's just the awareness that we navigate all the time. I'm curious if there are other resources out there that people use. We do a lot of social stories too, I would say. We have a lot of social stories that we try to prep Addie for certain things. And yeah.
Scary. It is. But now the kids are more worried too. So if we don't see Pierce for like a second, they're like, where's Pierce?
Heidi like on it.
Yeah.
That's good.
So how about Chaos Corner? Should we end with that? Do you have anything?
What's chaos? Let me think. You go first.
I don't have anything. I was hoping you'd be ready. No.
I mean, so many things in life right now are chaos. We're getting ready for Women's Volleyball Classic, and I'm super excited because Addie is old enough now to this will be her first year doing it. And so Women's Red Ball Classic is a push-pull competition here locally for Raise the Bar initiative to get girls and women into the gym, which we both love, obviously. And so excited about that, just trying to get Addie in the gym, doing some things. And so far she's loved it, which is great. Yesterday we were practicing for prep and she was doing her deadlift and it was like, 55 pounds. So she goes up and we're practicing. So it's feet, hands, look, lift. Like those, that's what I'm
It's
trying.
a cue. It's like when you do a powerlifting meet, there's like the timing. You have to time it out right. So
she goes feet, hands, look, lift. She lifts, she puts it down, and she comes up and she goes, "Mom, McDonald's now?"
That's my girl.
I'm like, oh.
Well, then 1 week she's like, "I'm done."
Yeah.
She's
So 2 weeks ago, she did her deadlift, and then she goes, "Oh, tired."
That yawn that they do.
That's a fake yawn. Oh, tired. I'm like, oh, okay.
So cute.
Yes, you can be tired. That's fine.
Yeah.
And one time she was trying to have her baby doll do all of the work with her too, but it's super cute. She gets there and she starts, doing her kick throughs and stretching and she takes the PVC pipe and stretches. So good.
It's awesome.
We'll see what happens. Day of competition. She could kill it. She might have sensory overload and either is
be scared of her. She might even be scared and not want to go out. Or
that's fine. It is just giving her the experience.
It'll get better and better every year. She'll know.
Now that she's 8, I think we can maybe look into some of the Special Olympics. Powerlifting and Tyler culture. That'd be fun. So,
I don't see a lot of young kids. I wonder if they have to be a little bit older for that. I don't know the age range for that, but there's not a lot of littles at the powerlifting meet. But maybe they just don't start that yet.
And
but they don't want their kids to start that yet. But there's an opportunity for them.
Yeah, and we have swimming too. Special Olympics next week. So we're swimming, powerlifting, gymnastics,
and we'll be in. So we're going to Minnesota. Yeah. So I think my chaos corner is kind of trying to balance like not knowing what Pierce can do right now because we have his next appointment on Wednesday. So it's like trying to keep the other two occupied and entertained. And Pierce is such a homebody. So he just wants to stay home, do nothing. Again, we go out, sensory overload, whatever. And so it's like, okay, the other two want to go to a park and Pierce wants to stay home, but can Pierce go to a park? And is he going to injure himself if he goes and things like that? So it's just trying to figure out, okay, once our Wednesday is here, I think he can start swimming again.
Yeah.
I think he's going to get released from physical therapy. We're going to do it 1 time a week, which will be very nice for all the chaos that causes. Because it's and our physical therapists are amazing. Right. But it's right in the middle of the day on a Tuesday, Thursday. So it's like pretty much messes up my whole day because it's a 2 hour. By the time you go pick him up from school, take him down, do the appointment, go home, 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
Oh.
And I'm like, how do parents? I'm thankful for a career where I have the flexibility to take Pierce to appointments. But these parents, and I was actually going to do a video on this and just shout out like employers for letting employees have more flexibility and freedom if they have a child with a disability, because I can't even imagine taking my time off. I'd have no time off between these appointments, And I know a lot of parents don't work because they have to go to all these appointments.
We have that conversation all the time, and not even just with Addie, with any kid, right? Trice is 3, so the 3-year-old preschool is half day, and both of us work outside of the home. We were talking one time, and Lisa's like, "Well, I really wanted to go to preschool," and I'm like, "Okay, well, how do you see that working?" And Lisa was like, "Well, you're the logistics person." I'm like, "Yeah, I know." And as the logistics person of this household, that is not going to work. And so we signed him up, hopefully, for a full day preschool. That is not in our city, but where I work. But I don't know yet if he got accepted because they do local residents first before they open it up to people who live outside, which will be great if he gets in. And if not, we'll figure something else out. But like the half day just doesn't work.
Yeah, and we have very much help. Otherwise, it's
and because Lisa's business, like she's getting ready starting tomorrow to jump back into full day work every single day because in lawn and
summers are busy,
snow, winters are
time, but
and it's perfect because that means she can be home with the kids for spring break and for winter break, and so it's the perfect coupling. And now that we're headed back into the busiest time, like how are we going to figure this out? We will. We always do.
But I just thought about that the other day. I'm like, how the hell? But I'm gonna have another full day of my life back.
Yeah. There you go.
But he's worth it. I do it in a heartbeat. And I knew that we wanted the best PT for him afterwards, because PT, if you don't do it, you make or break it. So we're in good hands. We're going to survive. But so.
Well, thanks for being here. listening.
Thanks, guys.
Like, share,
comment, subscribe.
tell us your resources.
Yes.
What you want to hear about.
Awesome. We'll see you later.
Bye.